to the Legacy Mode sensor grid compared to Thorium Classic. So I have my contacts here like usual. I can come in and edit them. I can drag them onto the sensor grid. And if I click on them, I can edit them here as well. So I can change the picture. We'll make that this. I don't have any asteroid pictures yet. And I can change the icon. I can change the label. I can also change the color if it is using a specific format of SVG that has the correct properties and stuff. I can document that. So I can make this a nice yellow color. And we can change the size. So we can make it bigger or smaller. We can change whether it's locked, which means it moves with this move joystick, or with automatic thrusters. Whether it's disabled, which just adds this nice little disabled indication to it. Whether it's hostile, which is going to impact the battle core, which hasn't been implemented yet. Cloaked contacts don't appear on the crew sensors, but they do appear on core still, so you can have a cloaked ship hanging around. But you can also make it appear on infrared sensors. And then, of course, we can remove it or destroy it with a nice little explosion. So that is editing contacts. We can also add planets. So if I click this planet here, it'll let me add a picture and change the color and change the size. So I can make it a nice big planet. There we go. And planets have a slight transparency on the core so that you can actually see what's behind them. We can add borders. We can add pings. Both of these can also be edited just by clicking on them to change the properties. And then in the extras, we have nudge. We have rotation as well. We have ask for speed, so if I drag this, it will ask. If I uncheck that, then it'll just use whatever the default speed is up there. We can add it to targeting. We can use sonar ping on the cruise station. So here's the cruise station, and I can use sonar ping to actually see everything. And I can change the speed so that it's active, passive, or manual. I'm going to make it manual again. And then we can show contact labels, which shows the labels on the core, but it doesn't show it on the cruise station. For that, they still have to hover over the contact. And then we can add interference, which appears here as a nice little fuzziness on the cruise station. Although that's looking a little weird, I'll have to fix that. Then we can option click segments to black them out. So if we come here in sonar ping, we'll see that this is blacked out. We can't see anything behind that sensor grid segment. And then finally the move joystick, which allows us to move contacts around like this. And then I can hit reset. I also have clear, stop. So if I move a contact like this and then hit the stop button, it bumps it over to where it is on the cruise station. And then I can freeze sensors, which allows me to move things around without them actually moving on the cruise station. If we do this, you see they aren't moving at all. They're still very stationary. And then if I come over to the icons, I can add icons, but they aren't going to appear on the cruise station. See, no icons. And then I can delete icons as well. So if I were to get rid of this icon entirely, drag it off, then when I apply the changes, that icon is going to disappear, but the other icons are going to, hey, you're supposed to be visible. Well, I guess that's not working. Huh, that's odd. Well, there they are. Don't know why they didn't appear before. So I guess there's a bug that needs to be addressed, but that's okay. So I'm just going to clear this, and we're going to start a program. Programs allow you to have sensor contacts automatically generate. Right now, the only one that I have is for a field. This is good for asteroids or for nebulas. So what you do is you set up your army contacts with all of the contacts that you want to appear in the field, and then you activate your program with the density that you want. And then at this point, nothing's going to happen. It's not going to generate contacts until either the crew uses their thrusters to move the ship forward or around, or we use the move joystick. Once I do that, we're going to have asteroids start spawning. I'm going to get rid of the contact labels. And they spawn based on the speed that you choose. So if we go really slow, it's not going to generate a whole bunch of asteroids. It's going to be a relatively the same density regardless of speed. And it works in any direction. So if we go to the side here, then it spawns on that side. And if we go to the side here, then it spawns on that side. And you'll notice that they automatically despawn once they reach the bottom of the sensor grid. One thing that you might want to do is make it so that perhaps you have a bad guy that is chasing the crew through the asteroids. So we're going to give him a contact. And just to make sure we know he's bad, we're going to use a color. But we don't want it to appear in the program. The program is based on whatever your current army contact list is. So it's going to randomly generate contacts based on this list. In fact, I can edit this contact and make it bigger. And then when it randomly is generated, it is going to be that size as part of the program. But I've omitted the bad guy from the program so that when we activate this again, we'll see that big contact appear at some point. Somewhere. There it is. It's all random. But the other contact isn't appearing at all. And these are regular contacts. I can move them around like this. I can click on them to edit their properties. And so we can do all kinds of things with this, but they are automatically generated, which is handy. So that is the new sensors